What's going on, guys? Josh here, and in this video we're going to be talking about how to retarget on Facebook now that iOS 14 is here. So as you guys know, around June of 2021 iOS 14 came out and it really affected the way that we retarget on Facebook. So it's been a couple months now, and now I think I've really kind of drilled down and honed in on what works. So I want to share all of that with you in this video. So with all that being said, guys, hope you guys enjoy this one. Let's jump straight into it. Okay guys, so we are in my computer right now, and I just wanted to walk you guys through what used to work in pre-iOS 14.5 times and why that no longer works anymore. Right, so I want to give you guys the theory behind it, what I've found based on my testings, right? Because I want to give you guys the tools to go out and test it yourself on your ad accounts. This is going to be a really good foundation to start here, but understand that all the things that have worked for our ad accounts may not necessarily work for yours, but I want you guys just to have a really solid foundation so you can go and build upon it. All right, so pre-iOS 14.5, generally the biggest change is the time frames for our custom audiences, right? As you guys may or may not know, right, when you build custom audiences, you can set the time frame in which the audience is populated, right? So people who have watched, a video in the last 5 days, in the last day, in the last 3 days, whatever, right? Now, pre-iOS 14.5 times, we were able to be, really narrow down the audiences, right? So people who have watched in the last 7 days, but they hadn't jumped onto our website, we could target people like that. But now with post iOS 14.5, that is a little bit more difficult. It's still possible on the Facebook native platform, right? Because that is their platform. They're able to see as much data as they want, right? But the moment that people jump off your website, it starts to get a little bit more difficult, a little bit more strenuous for the algorithm to go ahead and find those audiences. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and show you exactly how this was set up before. So the warm side of the Facebook remarketing campaigns, these were generally split up into multiple ad sets, right? So people who had Facebook engaged, right, in the last 14 days, IG engaged in the last 14 days, maybe video viewers 50% in the 14 days, right? Video viewers 75%, 14 days. Video viewers 95%, 14 days. Okay, so these are all separate ad sets that when we set it at, and we would also set it as a CBO, right? So let's say the CBO is something like $200 CBO. And what Facebook would do is, based on the daily active users, they would go ahead and, based on these ad sets, preferentially spend, right, to get you as many conversions as possible, right? But now this is no longer really advised, right? Facebook, after iOS 14.5, it's struggling to find the audiences. So often at times when we had an ad set or a campaign set up like this, we would find that Facebook just wouldn't spend because they wouldn't be able to find the audiences to actually deliver the ads, right? So this is exactly how it's set up. Now, in terms of the warm campaigns, there isn't as much damage as there is for the hot side of our campaigns. So let's quickly talk about our hot campaigns right here. Hot campaigns, right? Now, as you guys know, with iOS 14.5, the moment people jump off the Facebook platform onto our websites, right? If they have opted out for tracking, Facebook really struggles for this. And then in the Facebook Ads Manager, you're also going to see, errors where they say, hey, look, because of the iOS 14.5 update, our custom audiences may not be 100% accurate. And Facebook clearly says that, right? Now, in terms of the hot campaigns, the way this was set up again, it was also a CBO. Let's say, for example, $200. Now, inside of this, we would have multiple ad sets. We would have, the view contents, maybe 14 days, page views, 14 days, percent time spent on site, 14 days, right? You would have your add to cart, 14 days. You would have your initiate checkouts, 14 days. Add payment information, 14 days. We could really target a lot of audiences, right? But now, this is just no longer the case. It's no longer possible to do this just because Facebook cannot deliver the ads. It can't see these audiences because, 95% of all Americans even have opted out of tracking. No one wants to allow computers to go ahead and see what they're doing on the internet, right? So the moment they see that scary pop-up of, do you want Facebook to track you? Of course they're gonna say no, right? But that doesn't mean that remarketing doesn't work. So with all this being said, let me show you exactly how we go ahead and structure our remarketing campaigns now that we understand the playing field of post iOS 14.5, like what's been working and all that stuff, right? So post iOS 14.5, okay? The same kind of structure is going to apply, right? We're going to have our warm campaigns, and you can set this at like 10-20% of your budget, 10-20% of daily spend. Okay, now here what we want to go ahead and do, and what has been working really well for us, and I'm going to show you that in the ads manager, is just having one single ad set, right? So what we have here is a stacked audience ad set. Okay, so we might be spending, for example's sake, I think we're spending about $80 for our warm audience, right? We're spending about $800 daily. So this is an $80 remarketing campaign. Okay, so stacked audience, and inside of this, what we go ahead and do is broaden out the time frame, right? We understand that Facebook does better with broader audiences now post iOS 14.5. So as a result, we go ahead and stack the following. We have our 180 days, Facebook engaged, IG engaged, and then also our video views. But rather than having 50%, 75%, 95%, we're just gonna set a standard with like, hey, if they've watched at least 50% of our video, we're gonna go ahead and remarket to them. So generally here, I just set it at the 50-day. Now in terms of the exclusions, this is where it really starts to matter and why this is so important. Now for exclusions, okay, we're gonna go ahead and exclude anyone that has jumped onto our website. The reason why we do this is because the marketing message for someone who has engaged with our Facebook profile, engaged with our Instagram profile, or watched a video of for above 50%, for some reason they just have not jumped onto our website. So all they need to see is we need to convince them, hey, go onto our website, right? So the marketing message here is different to someone who has actually gone onto our website, clicked around, understood exactly what the product does, maybe they've even added to cart. Those guys just need a little bit of a push. They just need a little bit of a hint or a nudge to go ahead and actually purchase. All right, so this is why exclusions are so important in the remarketing section. All right, so for the exclusions here, what we go ahead and do is, again, the baseline for us was 30 days. We set it at 14 before and it just didn't work. So we increased that time frame. I increased the time frame to 30 days, and we're going to go ahead and do this. So these are the audiences, right? So page view, view content, website visitors, add to cart, add payment information, initiate checkout, and also purchases. So these are our exclusions, our audiences for a 30-day period. Now, what we need to understand is that iOS 14.5 it kind of hinders us in terms of the accuracy or the validity of these audiences. But nonetheless, we want to make sure we segregate it, because even if people haven't gone ahead and, let's say for example, our page view, view content, our add to cart audiences aren't 100% accurate, the ads that we want to use here are going to be more or less just UGC ads, right? Other people talking about our brand and all that kind of stuff. So it still applies for those audiences. Okay, now in terms of our hot audiences, this is where it changes a little bit, and that's where we're going to use those 30-day audiences again. So let's go ahead here for our hot campaigns. Same kind of theory, right? For us, because we understand iOS 14.5, the audiences aren't 100% targetable. We've actually reduced down the budget here. Rather than spending 10% of our daily budget, we actually reduced this down to about 5%. Okay, so we're only spending like, I think, $40 per day. Right, but it's still doing pretty well. I want to show you guys that in just a second. But in terms of the ad set, we want to have it again as a stacked audience, right? And in terms of the custom audiences you want in here, it was pretty much all of the exclusions that we had in our warm part of our marketing funnel, but the only exclusion that we want to have is our purchases. Okay, so again, page view, view content, website visitors, add to carts, initiate checkouts, add payment information, all of these 6 audiences for the 30-day period. Now for our exclusions, what we want to go ahead and do is exclude, like I said above, 30-day purchases. So people who have bought in the last 30 days. Now it's not going to be 100% foolproof, right? But that's okay. Right now we just want to be better safe than sorry. We want to set it up. We want to have good foundations, right? And then adjust later, right? At the budget level. Okay. So now that you guys understand this, okay, this is the way it should look. And let me go ahead and show you exactly how this is going to look in the Facebook Ads Manager. Okay, we are in the Facebook Ads Manager right now, and this is exactly how it's going to look. All right, so let's start with our warm campaigns. Now, if you guys don't understand my naming conventions and all that, I'm going to link you guys a video at the end of this one that shows you exactly how I go about and build a 500 per day ad spend Facebook ad account. Okay, so go ahead and watch that one if you guys interested in that. Now, for the warm campaigns, generally CPO, ABO, it doesn't really matter because we're going to have our one stacked audience, right? In the past, CPO was, definitely the one that we wanted to use and give Facebook more control. But here, it doesn't really matter because we're going to just have the one ad set, and Facebook is going to preferentially spend dependent on daily active users every single day. All right. So warm audiences, right? Go ahead into here and you're going to see that I have only one ad set, right? Stacked warm audience. I literally just have the one ad set, right? Now, conversion event is always purchase, right? Always have that. And here we go. So in terms of the custom audiences and the targeting, this is exactly what I mentioned previously, right? We have our Facebook ad engaged, IG ad engaged, and also our video viewers are at least 50% viewed in the last 180 days. Why do we set 180 days? Is because we just want to broaden the net. We want to collect as many people as possible. And the ads that we have in here, as you can see on the left here, most of them are just UGC ads, right? These are customer testimonials that they've sent through to us. And this is just creating some sort of FOMO because we understand that in the warm part of our funnel, these guys, they've engaged with our ads, they've clicked on it, they've liked it, they commented maybe, but for some reason, they just have not jumped onto the website. So we understand human psychology is just a matter of getting, if we can incite FOMO, like fear of missing out in them, then they're gonna go ahead and jump onto the website and potentially buy, all right? So in terms of the exclusions, this is exactly what I said when drawing it out. We want to exclude our, for 30-day periods, purchases, page views, view contents, website visitors, offline purchases. We also want to exclude our add to carts, initiate checkouts, and add payment information. It must have fallen off here, right? But as we go through, locations doesn't really matter. Age, gender, you can leave it open, right? And in terms of placements, we just want to leave it as auto. We want to let Facebook just do that. And for the attribution setting, for me, clicks has always worked way better than going ahead and doing the click or view ad, right? So we always set it as click. Right now we're testing 7-day click, right? Previously though, generally we do the 1-day click, all right? So the benefit of having one ad set is that it's just account simplification. It's easy to manage, easy to handle. If performance is dropping, right, we can just adjust the budget at that one ad set, right? We don't need to turn off ad sets, turn on ad sets, duplicate ad sets, all of that kind of stuff, guys. If anyone is advocating that, I would say that they are not fully aware of what's happening with iOS 14 and they're still using old information. Okay, now let's move on to our hot audiences or our hot campaigns, right? Now, our hot campaigns, again, naming conventions, all in the video at the end of this one, right? Let's go to the ad set. So you can see here, again, it's just one audience, right? And we're just making sure that who we're targeting is specifically people who have jumped onto our website, because these people, all they really need is a little bit of a nudge, a little bit of a push, right? So you can see here on the ad section, right, we're just creating like scarcity. So that's the oops ad. And then also for the 10% off, we're just making sure, hey, maybe they don't want to pay full price. Maybe they just want a deal, right? So we're going to give them 10% off and hope that that will be enough of a push for them to actually go ahead and buy, right? So here, in terms of the audiences, this is the error that I was talking about earlier, right? The size of your custom audiences may decrease because they may not include some people using iOS 14.5 or later, right? This is why we're doing what we're doing, right? Stacking audiences, giving Facebook as much time, broadening out the timeframes as well for our custom audiences. This is why we're doing it, right? Because we want to give Facebook as much data as possible and help them out, right? And it actually works out better for all of us, right? Now, in terms of the inclusions, right, we have your add payment information, add to cart, initiate checkout, page view content, and website visitors, right? We're really going over the top here because view content, page view, and website visitors more or less is the same audience. We just want to be safe than sorry, right? We want to make sure we go overboard, capture all of them rather than let a few slip through the cracks. Now, in terms of the exclusions, all we want to have here, like I wrote before, is just purchases, okay? Now, everything else is the same, you know, locations, age, gender, all of that you can leave open, right? Placements, open, and then 7-day click testing. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this. So we've been running this for a little while now, I think of over 2 weeks, and you can see, for example, that look, it's literally, let me go ahead and change my view through, right? You can see here that we've spent about $900 on our warm campaigns and also $550 on our hot campaigns, right? Now, as we go ahead and have a look, purchase conversion value, we've brought back $4,000 as well as $1,400, okay? Now, in terms of our CPAs, right, for our warm, we have a really great CPA. It's $16, right? And this is Australian dollars, mind you. So this is going to be something like $11, $12 CPA. My average order value is like $80 to $90 US, right? So really happy with that. Now, why I went and restricted the budget for my hot campaigns was the fact that yes, overall, our ROAS is 2.65, still really profitable. Our break-even ROAS is 1.6, right? So we're doing really well, but it's not doing as well as our warm audiences. And the reason for this that I think is that for our warm audiences, we have specifically, Facebook has more viewing power. It's their platform. They can see who the audiences are. So the audiences are more robust and more detailed, right? But the moment it jumps off Facebook, because people have opted out, you know, about 95% of Americans have actually opted out of being tracked on, you know, whatever they're doing online. So you can see that directly from the numbers here. The numbers really don't lie. You can see that our cost per acquisitions for our hot audiences, these are people who have shown significant interest in our product, that have actually taken actions on our website to, you know, all they need is a slight little push. But how come it costs me more to get them to buy? It's just because Facebook isn't able to find those audiences specifically, right? And that's why for our hot audiences, we've actually restricted the spend. And we started it at about 10%, but we noticed that, oh, our warm audiences are doing way better. We're doing a 4.56 return on ad spend, right? As opposed to a 2.65 on hot audiences. So that extra 5%, we've pushed it into our warm audiences, right? Because it's just been doing that much better. It's getting that much more profit for us, right? So that's what you guys need to do. You need to watch the data. You need to see, okay, well, this doesn't really make sense. Our hot CPAs should be much lower than our warm CPAs, but it's just understanding what's happening with the Facebook platform, right? And then adjusting as a result. This is the theories and this is the mindsets that we use so that we can make sure that on a daily basis, we get, you know, anywhere between 5 to 7 times return on ad spend across all of our ad accounts, right? Now, as you guys understand this, as you guys see this, right? this is exactly how we set it up. So now it is your turn. I want you guys to go ahead, take this, watch this over and over again so you understand why I'm doing certain things, right? This is just findings that I've personally found, right? And now it's your time to apply it in your own business. Okay guys, so now that we've gone ahead and talked about what used to work pre iOS 14.5 when we could have a more robust remarketing funnel in Facebook, and how that's changed and what we're doing now and what's working for us now, I want you guys to go ahead and follow this. Go ahead and create it in your own ad accounts, right? Start it at 30 days, right? But whatever I've shown you in this video, go ahead and start there, all right? But remember that this is all testing. Your ad accounts might be different. Your audiences are different. So start with 30 days, but then remember to test and never neglect testing. Go ahead and test, up to 60 day, 90 day, 180 day, whatever, right? Go ahead and test all of these things because, you might find a gold mine and all you just need to do is create a new audience and test it, right? Run some budget to it and it might make, a whole world of difference for your ad account. So that is all the time that we have for this video. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. Make sure you go ahead and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really does help out the channel. If you guys also found value from this, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know exactly when I'm dropping another video. Now, before we go, I just want to show you guys, if you wanted to follow along to build out a 500 ad spend per day Facebook ad campaign, I want you guys to go watch this video right here. It's going to show you exactly what kind of ads to use, the theory behind it, and how we go ahead and set it up so that we can consistently achieve a 5 to 7 times return on ad spend over a day on day. Okay, so with all that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.